Case 35, Germanwings versus Henning. Again, we're in the Court of Justice of the European Union, this time in the Ninth Chamber. Facts. Mr. Henning purchased an airplane ticket from Germanwings in order to go from Salzburg, Austria to Cologne, Bonn. That ticket specified a takeoff from Salzburg Airport at 13:30 on 11th May 2012. And an arrival at Cologne-Bonn Airport at 14:40 on the same day. The flight distance between those two airports is, according to the Great Circle route method, less than 1,500 kilometers. On 11 May 2012, Mr. Henning's aircraft was delayed in taking off from Salzburg Airport. On arrival, the aircraft touched down on the tarmac of the runway at Cologne-Bonn at 17:38. The aircraft did not, however, reach its parking position until 17:43, 3 hours and 3 minutes after the scheduled arrival time. The doors of the aircraft were opened shortly afterwards. Mr. Henning takes the view that the destination was reached with a delay of more than 3 hours in relation to the scheduled arrival time. He thus considers that he has the right to compensation of €250, based on Articles 5 to 7 of Regulation 261. Germanwings submits that as the actual arrival time was the time at which the plane touched down on the tarmac at Cologne-Bonn Airport, the delay in relation to the scheduled arrival time is only 2 hours and 58 minutes, which is the result that no compensation is payable. The first instance court held that the actual arrival time to be considered was the time at which the first door of the aircraft was opened to enable the passengers to leave. Consequently, that court ordered Germanwings to pay compensation of €250 to Mr. Henning. That company lodged an appeal against that judgment before the referring court. So what's the holding? The court, the Ninth Chamber, hereby rules Articles 2, 5, and 7 of Regulation 261 of the European Parliament and of the Council of 11 February 2004, establishing common rules on compensation and assistance to passengers in the event of denied boarding and of cancellation or long delay of flights, and repealing Regulation 295, must be interpreted as meaning that the concept of arrival time, which is used to determine the length of the delay to which passengers on a flight have been subject, refers to the time at which at least one of the doors of the aircraft is opened. The assumption being that, at the moment, the passengers are permitted to leave the aircraft. Regulation 261 does not define the actual arrival time. That being the case, the need for a uniform application of EU law and the principle of equal treatment require that the terms of a provision of EU law, which makes no express reference to the law of the member states for the purpose of determining its meaning and scope, must normally be given an independent interpretation throughout the European Union. It follows that the concept of actual arrival time must be interpreted in such a way as to apply uniformly throughout the European Union. In those circumstances, one of the possibilities envisaged by the referring court, namely that according to which that concept is defined by the parties concerned on a contractual basis, must, in the absence of any indication to that effect in Regulation 261, be rejected at the outset.